Right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today what we're going to do is start preparation for getting the new Zunsport lower grille fitted to this car. Obviously there's a bit of prep work to do before we start doing that. Obviously it'd be lovely to just take the old one out, put the new one in. I mean, it would be so simple, but on the facelift version they try and complicate things for us, whereas on the pre-facelift and a standard Mark II facelift, you can just take the whole grille out and put the new one in. So why has that not been developed? I've got no idea. I have mentioned it, so I'm hoping at some point that will be developed, because it seems crazy that, you know, it shouldn't be. Just like we should just be able to pop the whole thing out and put a new one in. Crazy that we have to start cutting things out and using the original. I mean, it's madness, but there you go, it is what it is. So what we're going to do is we are going to start cutting, preparing, take the original out. We're going to use obviously the outer side of the grille and the top part for mounting the license plate. Yeah, so we're just going to start that now. Here we go, let's go. Right, so we are getting there. If you're wondering how I've done this, we've used a hacksaw, just a small one, just to basically cut into the grills, and taken those out. So we've got a whole piece has now come out. We're now going to take off the Phillips daylight running lights. We're going to move those for the moment, and we're going to probably mount these down here at some stage. We're going to try and get this out, this whole grill out, give this a sand down. We're going to respray this, preparation for the new lower grill to go in. So I'm going to continue. Basically what we're going to do now is we're going to take these off. We're going to continue cutting. We're going to get all this prepped before I take it off the car. It's a lot easier to obviously cut while it's on the car. I'm not sure if I'm just going to leave these here at the moment, or whether I'm just going to cut them all off, but we'll work that out as we go. So yeah, let's crack on. Right, so we're getting there slowly. So I'm just using the hacksaw. As I've said, we're just cutting out, being very, very careful. Just cutting this out. I'm now on my way down. I could unplug this, but I haven't got the energy right now. We're just going to cut around that. That will obviously then, we'll just put that to one side for the moment. I'm keeping and retaining the bottom lip along here, because I like the design of this particular grill. I like these honeycomb. So I'm going to try and keep that feature along here, just on the top edge. And I'm also going to leave this section here. That should expose nicely the intercooler behind, but also give us an opportunity to also put some air vent to go up into the engine up there, to obviously mount for the airbox, for the filter. So we're going to keep that for the moment. We might put something in there. I'm going to repeat that on the other side, and so we'll get a nice view of the AirTech intercooler behind. It's not looking in its best, to be honest. We might give that a spray, but we'll come back to that. Main thing today is let's get this grill out and get this prepped and ready. So let's keep going. Right, so we've got through on that side, and we're just going to put the lights to one side for the moment. As I say, I'm going to mount them down here. So that's where we're at the moment. And we'll just do the other side. And I think that's enough on the intercooler exposed, so I'm happy with that. I quite like the idea of just keeping a little bit of a little bit there. As I say, we can maybe put a filter so it brings some more air up towards the air filter, and we'll repeat that on the other side and just make it look symmetrical. But that's where we are so far. So yeah, let's get this last bit off and make a decision. I mean, I've seen some people cut the whole thing out and just leave the lip. I'm tempted, but then obviously you have a problem with mounting your number plate. I think I'm just going to do it this way for the moment, make a decision. We could always take it off and redo it again at some point, but for now let's do this. So just to show you, once you've cut through part of the grille, what you want to do is then take the back side off, which then release the front side to obviously pull the hacksaw out, rather than trying to struggle with it. That's the way, it's the easiest way to get that out. Right, so we've done all the cutting that I'm happy with for the moment, and we're going to remove the grille now. So what I've done in the past is I've started in one corner and pulled. Now with this exposed, it might be a little bit easier to get to the clips behind. There's about 12 or so clips all the way around, and they're very brittle. I think I've snapped 2 already, but this is quite a bit of a pain. So we're going to start on this corner. We're going to try and just pull those out, but I'm going to try and do it gently. So the grille's out. Yep, it was a bit of a pain, but yeah, I've got a couple of clips that are broken. This one here, this was broken some time ago when I took it out, the first time I removed it, so that's not in the best place either, being the main clip on this side. And I think we might have another one somewhere. And this one here again, these two here, main clips, always a bit of a pain on the first time you take it out. They didn't come out too badly, to be fair. So we're going to get that down. Well, I actually really like it exposed like that, but you know, it's a lot better to have something there to protect the intercooler for sure. Certainly heading down the M25 every day. But yeah, as I say, it's a shame really that Zunsport haven't really produced something that you can just literally put in there now, rather than having to reuse. It is a shame, but nevertheless, we're going to tie this up. I'm in two minds actually. I might spray, as I say, I might spray this. It's not in the best of conditions right now, and it looks pretty shoddy. But that's where we are. So we're going to crack on. We're going to get this sprayed up and go from there. So I've just decided to have a quick look, see what it would look like. I'm now unsure whether to cut all of it out behind or to leave the little honeycomb bits there. I'm quite tempted just to take it all out now. Two minds. Now I've married it up. I'm not sure. So let's get the original into the house, and we need to get that sanded down, prepped and ready for spraying anyway. So I'll make a decision in a bit, but that's kind of what it will look like, I guess. So yeah, a little unsure whether to cut it all out. Not sure. So let's get back. Let's get this done. Right, wasn't going to bore you with cutting, but this is what I've decided to do, is cut it further than what I originally showed. And I think that's better. Now ready to get some primer on this. It's quite late, but let's try and get a couple of coats done, and then we can try and I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, I guess. It's going to sit behind the front grille. I made a couple of mistakes just here, where that should have gone up. Cut that by mistake. So I did repeat that on this side to obviously make it look the same. But then I did cut just there, which is a bit of a shame. But so that's well, as you can see here, it's a straight line. But I'm happy with that. So we're going to start. I've sanded it. So we are going to now give it a primer. And just to let you know, this is what I did just to finish off the edges of these after cutting it. I just used a Stanley just to trim them nicely, and then gave them a bit of a sand. So right, let's go. Let's get this started. Right, so I spent about an hour sanding to get it down to a really good finish. Now what you need to do is make sure you use 400 plus and get a good sand on it, just to take away anything, any flaking, or you get a rubbish finish at the end. To be fair, I wouldn't be unhappy with that as a grill to use without the Zunsport. I'd be quite happy to actually spray this and have that as the main grill with the intercooler exposed. I think that would look wicked. But we're going ahead with this. As I say, make sure you sand down after you've done a few coats. It'll be flaking, or it might have picked up any dust. It's really important that you do that. As I say, this grill wasn't in the best of conditions, so it's had chipping going down the motorway and so on. And so we're going to try and just get this back to a good finish before we gloss. But that's where we are at the moment. Okay, right, we have primered. I'm happy with that. I'm going to stick with that. I'm not going to go any further with it. I think that looks cracking, although there are some imperfections over here, which is from old, but I'm not going to be able to take those out. As I say, if I was going to do this properly, I'd probably buy a new grill and do this again, but it's going to be behind the Zun grill, so we're going to live with that. We're going to start the glossing process now and see how this turns out. Okay, right, so we've done the surround, ready for the installation basically of the Zunsport lower grille. I've decided, this is going to be a really bad idea, but I've decided to give the intercooler a light dusting of a satin black. Now the danger is, obviously this is a cooling system. We don't want to block it with paint. So we're going to give it a light dusting. Now this is a bad idea, I know it is, but it looks really shoddy. It's a shame really that it's always had a front grille on it, so I'm not quite sure why it's got so bad, but we're going to give it a light dusting and see what happens. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's all good. So as you can see, this is the current state of it. So as I say, we're just going to give it a light dusting with some Halford's satin black, and hopefully it comes up okay. Right, let's go. So I've given it a light dusting. And as you can see, that literally a couple of squirts has sorted it out. That looks so much better straight away. We'll let that dry, give it a once over, and then we're done. So literally a light dusting. The improvement though is amazing. So I haven't masking taped, I haven't put anything on the car. Dangerous, yes, but we've just given it, as I say, a really light spray and we're done. Right, so giving that a once over, perfect. That looks better, bit of a clean inside. So we're now in a position to get everything married up and onto the car. But yeah, that light dust in there has just really transformed that. I'm glad I did it, to be fair. Yeah, a little bit risky, but I think it's worked out okay. Right, so the front grille has been glossed and ready for action. So I'm fairly happy with that. We've left a little bit of detailing, which we'll be seeing at the back. Left a little bit of the honeycomb. A lot of people will take that all out. I mean, I left it in for the moment. Hopefully it'll look okay. As I say, just give a little bit of detailing behind, because you will see through it anyway, but it'll just show a little bit of honeycomb left. It's in a black gloss, so it looks pretty good. There are some imperfections, but I knew that was going to be the case anyway, and as I say, it's not going to be what you're seeing on the car now. If it was, I would replace it for sure, but we're now going to replace it with this Zunsport mesh grille that's going to sit over the top and overlay. Now, it's a fairly simple install at this stage now. The hardest bit is really getting this cut out, taking it out, cutting it out, and obviously respraying. We've got these little tabs that run along the bottom, along here. These will just slip inside the, if you've still got this on, go inside the honeycomb, and just needs to be fixed to the back. So you will need to push the tabs up and just fit them over the side. So we'll put those in now and I'll show you once they're in. And then we've just got some screws to fix to the front, and then the installation is completed. So let's crack on with that now. Right, so what you need to do is get your hooks just behind. Once you push it in and pull it down using a flathead screwdriver, or if you can use your hand, and then sort of let the grille flex back out again, it hooks itself just onto the back, just here. So you've got to do the same all the way along. So I'm going to do that shortly. But I just noticed probably an error by Zun. I don't know whether this has come up before, but there's this piece here. Now this is sticking frontwards, and there's nothing for it to go into. I don't understand why that's there. I can only assume it's either a fault or it just doesn't make any sense, which means you're gonna have to put a slight hole in it or cut it off for it to sit flush. So that's a bit stupid. But we'll continue with just getting the clips. Well, we're going to address this first. We can't go any further because that's just hitting. It's just silly. And it's not going to sit flush. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to make a little small incision with a Stanley knife, just enough for that to slip into it, and then that will sit flush. So that's what I decided to do. So I'm going to crack on with that, do that now, and I'll show you that in a second. But definitely hasn't made it very easy, which is what I was hoping this would be. But there you go. Okay, I think that's just about done it. So I had a small incision just in there and managed to push that through into the back. Let me get a good shot of that. So just poking out there. So as I say, I'm not sure what really that purpose is on there, but that was a bit of a pain and didn't expect that to be there. So we're just going to marry the rest of this up now. Get the hooks in and get the screws in. So then we'll hopefully have this complete.
Yeah, so you basically push the sides in and you pull the clips over the back. Not the greatest of design, I have to say. I mean, they hook on okay, they're not brilliant. But I guess it's not broken, don't fix it type of thing. But yeah, a couple of them had to kind of force it over. This one's just about on. But because they're so tight in terms of, you can't really bend it any further down unless you actually had it fully bent in the first place, if that makes sense. That one's not too bad. But yeah, a little bit more awkward than I expected, and to do this on the car, I can imagine it'll be a bloody nightmare to actually get these hooks in. But anyway, they're on, so we'll just get the screws done up now.
Aside from my soul, there goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul.
Right. Installation complete onto the grille. Bit of a ball ache, but you know, the principle, it's easy. It is a simple process, but in terms of trying to do it on the car, I think would be a pain in the arse. The amount of pissing about with the hooks at the back just to try and get them hooked over correctly. I'm not sure whether, you know, having it on the car would be easy enough to do. I'm not too sure about this little tab up here. As I say, I made an incision there, just pushed that into there. It kind of bends it down slightly, but when you pop it out, it doesn't look quite right. Not really sure why that's even there. It seems strange that it just doesn't have another screw insert just there. And that would solve that. It is a shame, crying shame really, that they haven't developed what essentially removes this whole messing around with the outer grille. I don't really see the point, you know, making it an inch thicker all the way around and making longer tabs at the back and get away with the whole grille like they do with the Mark II. Mark II facelift, you can get rid of the whole grille, and obviously, like I said at the start, on the pre-facelift, exactly the same. So I don't know why they haven't developed removal of that whole piece. It just, to me, it's a waste of time, if I'm honest. But it's on now. Let's get it on the car. Right guys, back at the car. So I've still got quite a lot to do before I can install the grille. I've got to rewire the daylight running lights, which are going to remount back lower on the car. Originally they were fixed to the grille, the original SD grille, so I'm now got to just get the wiring up before I put the grille on, or I won't be able to do this. I don't want to take the grille out again. The clips are too brittle, and as I said, I broke two some time ago. So basically, I'm going to try and get this done now before I get the grille back in the car. Right, okay, so the idea is what we're going to do is we're going to mount these daylight running lights just somewhere here. I think it's facing this way, obviously, and I managed to find a gap to bring the wire up. So we're going to bring this up now through. We'll do the same on the other side, and get those mounted down there, and then we can get the grille in, and that will complete the installation. And that still looks okay from earlier on with the spraying. Just tidied it up a little bit, which is good. So let's get these in and get this completed. Right guys, so I've mounted daylight running lights down here for now. I'm not sure whether that actually works, but I'm running out of time on daylight, so I'm going with that for the moment. So that's what we're doing. Right, moment of truth, let's get this in. I've just put a little bit of insulation tape just around the broken, just to hold the two broken parts together. Hopefully that will just then make that slide in rather than one sort of pinging one way and the other way, and it's not going to go in. So hopefully it's just enough just to hold those together in the right place for installation. I've done the same on the other one, just over here. So we're going to get that mounted now up here. As I say, I put the running lights down here. I'm not too sure that works, but I'm running out of time. Worst case scenario, we'll take them off. To be fair, I've got nowhere to mount them now. I'm not going to mount them back on the grill. So they become obsolete, or we try and find a place. And at the moment, that's the best solution I've got for use of them. If it doesn't work and they look ridiculous and out of place, then I'll take them off. They do look like they're just kind of floating there without any purpose, and kind of takes away from the grill. So yeah, looking a bit sloppy, to be honest. But as I say, I'm running out of time. I maybe should have just decided to take them off and do the correct thing and get daylight running lights in the fog lights and do something with the headlights. So maybe it's just a solution for the moment. We can quite easily, actually, without possibly interfering with the grill, take those off. So right, let's get this on. Right, so we've got it in. Yeah, it does look wicked. Surprising how something so simple, like a little bit of mesh, can change the whole front of the car. So it does look good. I'm happy with that.
And now it's just thinking about how to mount the license plate.
So hopefully you've made it to the end of the video. I didn't manage to solve my issue with the number plate. I had some new screws. I thought they were going to be long enough, but they're not. They're just a little bit short. So I'm going to have to go and buy some new screws, just get the number plate on, and make that legal. So we'll get that done in the next couple of days. Love the new look. A little bit fiddly in terms of getting it done. Yeah, it is a little bit of you know, it's probably going to take you a couple of days. I mean, certainly if you're going to take it off, you're going to do the spraying. I mean, potentially you could just buy it, put it straight on, not take it off, which you can potentially do. If you're looking to do what I did, obviously cut it, spray it, and then fix it. You can get obviously a similar result. I think it's a great product. It would be nice, as I say, to have developed something that we didn't have to mess around with the whole taking this grill out and reusing it. It'd be nice to have a product that you could just simply take out and put back in. So maybe that's something that they can look at for the future, although this hasn't changed for quite some time. So great product. It looks really good. I hope you agree. Yeah, the video is a little bit longer than I had planned, but I just wanted to give you some step-by-steps as to how I did it. That might help you if you are looking to do this yourselves. If you weren't aware, I do supply, or I am a supplier for Zunsport. So if you are looking for a grill for your car, then follow the links below, and check out my shop, my Facebook store, and my eBay store, where you can buy various products for your car. So have a browse at that. Appreciate your time as always, and let's catch up on the next one. I've got a few other bits that must be done soon because they're driving me nuts. And that's going to sort out the headlights. So I look forward to speaking to you on the next one. Cheers, guys.